fact that we're using HTTPS and Python doesn't have enough certificates put into it by default for a lot of reasons, but our quick and dirty way is to turn them off. Thank you, Python, for reducing security by teaching us so that this is the best way to do it. That's a grumpy moment on my part. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a URL open. This bit here is to shut off the security checking for the SSL certificate. And then we're going to read all the data, and then we're going to just want to print it out. And we're also going to ask the connection, this URL. Remember I told you a long time ago that URL lib eats the headers, but you can get them back. And now we're going to ask to get a dictionary of the headers back. And so we'll print those out. Okay, so this is really kind of just testing the body and the headers and printing them out sort of in as raw a way we can do. So let's go run this. Now this is going to fail the first time we do it because we haven't put the hidden variables in there. So if I say python 3 twtest.py, it's going to run and blow up, and it's going to give you this 401 authorization required. That's a good sign because that means that you haven't yet updated your values in hidden.py. And so this is that augmented URL, and you can see the consumer key and the consumer secret and the OAuth token and whatever. Okay, so these tokens are like wrong. These aren't. Oops, Control C. They aren't real. And then, but you'll notice it doesn't the key and the secret and the token key, the token secret and the secret, and that's all actually encoded in this signature. It turns out that you need to have the key and the token, the secret and the token secret to generate the signature. And where is the signature? Oh, there's the signature. Right there's the signature. And so this signature combined with the nonce, that you can only do this signature has a time and it includes all kinds of things. So even if you type this in, well, you'll see these go by, and it's not really breaking my security too much when you see these afterwards. So don't get all excited when you say, oh, you revealed your token and your key. Well, I can reveal my token and key, but I'm not going to reveal the secret. Okay, so this adds all this OAuth stuff, OAuth nonce, OAuth timestamp, and these timestamps and nonces are made it so that you can't replay my URL even if you see the exact URL. Once I hit it, then you can't hit it again. And so that's what the nonce does. So I'm going to close hidden.py here, and I'm going to update hidden.py in another window. Okay, so I just, in another window, I updated hidden.py. I'm not going to show you that, but now I'm going to run python twtest.py. So twrl is going to read hidden, and now these keys and secrets are my real ones that I haven't shown you. So this should work. Fingers crossed. Yay, it worked. Okay, so it worked. So I'm calling Twitter. Here's the URL. Now don't worry. The token and the consumer key are not enough to break into my account, and neither is the signature because you can't replay this. In about 5 minutes, you can't replay this anymore, okay? So you can't generate the signature. I've done one. The signature includes the time and date, so you can't, trust me, go read up on OAuth, don't worry. I haven't really revealed anything. But, so the first thing we see is this. So we see, and we should put like the line of dashes here. This is the JSON. It ain't very pretty. It's not very pretty. Okay, and so that's the JSON from there to there. It's just what most APIs give us back. It's really dense JSON, right? And so this is a byte array. Remember how you have to do a .decode? I didn't do a .decode here. And so this is telling, and Python is telling us this is a byte array, which it's a raw set of bytes that came from the internet, which probably are UTF-8. And if I put a decode here, then it would decode. If I say .data.decode there, then it would be fine. But we don't care. This was just a dump. Do we get anything? And so then, here, let's do this. Print. I'll just make this code different. Ooh, put some equal signs here, a lot of equal signs, so we can easily see where the thing starts and stops. So we'll run that again. If you look at those URLs, So that was all of that stuff. And then this is the headers. And so the headers, again, are not pretty. You get the headers, it's a dictionary. You got cache control, no cache, comma. This is the string, key value. You got to find your commas, key value. But the one that's really interesting here is, which one is it? X rate limit remaining, right there. X rate limit remaining. So that means that for this particular API, and this header tells me that I've got 898 calls left. And this is when I will get more calls. And yeah, so let's see, yeah. So watch. I'm going to do this again, and you will see that I can only do this 897 more times now. Run it. I can only do this 897. So I am being tracked at this point. I am being tracked by Twitter. Twitter knows that it's Dr. Chuck that's doing this, and Dr. Chuck has done 900, he's done 899, 897, and if I keep running this, eventually Twitter will tell me, you got to wait for a while. And that's because Twitter doesn't want me, under my Dr. Chuck account, pulling out like lots and lots of stuff out of Twitter and making my own website. I do actually have my own Twitter website using some cool software, www.drchuck.com/Twitter. And this I have to run, and it rate limits and causes all kinds of, whatever. So, okay, so rate limit. So, I'll save that. So that's tweet. This is just to test it, okay? Because I want to do something interesting. So we're not parsing the JSON that comes back. We're not doing anything tricky with this. And away we go. So, let's take a look at some more code. I think I don't need this anymore. So now I am going to parse this. So most of this looks the same. I've got that same user timeline JSON. I'm going to ignore the SSL certificates. I'm going to write a loop. So I'm going to ask the Twitter, I'm going to print, I'm going to get a Twitter account and quit if it's a blank line or if I hit enter. I'm going to use the Twitter URL augment the same way. That's going to do all the signing using from hidden.py. I retrieve it, and I'm going to retrieve it, ignoring the SSL errors, and then I'm going to decode it. This time I'm going to decode it so that I get a real Unicode string. And I'm going to print the first 250 characters of it. I'm going to grab the headers, and I'm going to print the remaining, the rate limit. So this is sort of a very simple version of this. Same thing. It really is decoding the data and only printing the first 250 characters. So let's run that. Dr. Chuck, boom, and it's got 896. So that's just a little simpler version of that with a little less brutal debugging. Okay, so now let's do something even more fun. Let's go to twitter2.py and tear it apart. And so, so again, we're going to look at my friends list, or someone else, anybody's friends list. We're going to ask for the friends and ask for the screen name, ask for the first 5 friends, and then look at their statuses, open it, decode it, get the headers, print the rate limit remaining. All this stuff is the same as in Twitter 1, but now we're going to parse the JavaScript. I'm not even putting this in a try and accept because, hey, I'm talking to Twitter. I'm going to guess that Twitter is going to give me the right stuff. You'll probably want to put a try and accept here. Then I'm going to do a debug print. I'm going to do a JSON pretty print. Let's make that be 2 so it looks a little better. And then, well, I'm going to run it, and then you're going to see how we have to parse this. And we're going to see that it's a list. So we're done with that. And now we're running twitter2.py. So I'm going to go to Dr. Chuck. And this is going to ask the question who Dr. Chuck's friends are. Okay, let's go to the top. So it hit this API, and it has the screen name Dr. Chuck, count equals 5, and all this OAuth stuff. Again, this is not a security breach by showing you all of this, because the signature, the secrets aren't there. Okay, so if we look at it, it's an outer object or dictionary. and then the outer has a user